And FarmOS, as it sounds, is kind of an operating system. I mean, it's not literally an operating system, although it does come in that form. But FarmOS is really meant to be a suite of software, suite of free and open source software that makes it easy for farmers to run the digital side of their operations, to start collecting more data, to start managing that data, and to start doing more with that data. Now, FarmOS is a piece of free and open source software that we've profiled in the past here on MetaViews, but I wanted to revisit it and include reference of it in today's Ottawa Valley Smart Farms for reasons that I will allude to in a moment. But first, let's provide a very brief overview. FarmOS, and once more, I'm going to increase the font. FarmOS is a web-based application for farm management, planning, and record keeping. It is developed by a community of farmers, developers, researchers, and organizations with the aim of providing a standard platform for agricultural data collection and management. The FarmOS server is built on top of Drupal, which makes it modular, extensible, and secure. And the FarmOS FieldKit app provides offline data entry in a native Android/iOS app and as a progressive web app at farmos.app. Both are licensed under the GPL, which means they are free and open source. And of course, there is an active community supporting it, which includes a chat on Matrix, an IRC channel on Freenode, Twitter, in fact, both Twitter channels, and of course, active in the GitHub. Now, the reason I wanted to bring up FarmOS today is for a few points. Number one, free and open source software that makes it easy for farms to run their operations, to keep track of their data, to keep track of their records, to help with their overall planning and overall information management. But as we know, data is playing a very important role in agriculture. Farmers are being encouraged to maintain and collect and harvest their data as if it were its own cash crop. But because the agricultural industry is dominated by large companies, there really hasn't been movement towards creating a data standard. And that's where our friends at FarmOS are anticipating the need for standards created in agricultural data collection and management. Now, granted, as with any free and open source project, it's a grassroots initiative, it's a bottom-up initiative, but to give them credit, at least they're anticipating the role of standards when it comes to data collection and data management. Now, we already follow FarmOS on Twitter, and they post relatively frequently, which is pretty decent compared to a lot of the groups that are out there. Mike Farmier is one of the developers or organizers behind FarmOS, and we also encourage that you check Mike out and you give him a follow. But the main reason why I wanted to profile FarmOS as part of our show today is they've got a call coming up this afternoon. So the FarmOS team holds a monthly Zoom session where they invite farmers to participate and talk about some of the issues that they have with the software or some of the features that they have with the software. And today they're going to be talking about a proposal to create a new website for FarmOS as part of a new version and the new sort of FarmOS 2.0 that they're sort of moving towards. And this is FarmOS, I think, anticipating a resurgence in micro farms and a resurgence in micro farming that I think represents a new push amongst FarmOS to be more visible, to get more attention, and to really present themselves as a viable software framework for farmers to use. So we're not going to spend too much time today on FarmOS. I mean, it's a software that I tried out a few years ago that I intend to install and use again, at the very least as a way of promoting it to farmers to use. But it's also a community that I think people should be active in, whether you're a farmer or not. Maybe you're just interested in free and open source software, or maybe you're curious about agriculture and you want to learn the way in which technology is used. I think FarmOS as a community, as a place to contribute your time and efforts, is very much worthy. So we highlight it today as another free and open source project that we support and that we encourage farmers to check out. But as with all of our projects today, it's something that we are going to keep a close eye on and continue to return to as one of the resources that we think are available to smart farms and micro farmers in general. So just to do a quick recap, we chose to feature 4 open source projects today that we feel illustrate the growing role of community and cooperatives when it comes to agricultural technology. This started with Twisted Fields and their new open source farm robot called Acorn. It then looked at the Romy project, which seeks to build open source robotics for micro farms. And then we looked at L'Atelier Paysan, which is a French collective of organic farmers that deliberately shares and open sources technology. And then finally looked at FarmOS, a free and open source software suite that's designed for farmers of all shapes and sizes so that they can not only use software to help manage their farm, but start adhering to standards when it comes to data collection and data management.